Second Floor Sports. He's been Carlton. I'm Matias Weilmann. Sports starting to come down to the wire. Baseball already in the World Series. We're going to talk about that. Football on week 6 already. Season's just flying by. We're getting close to being halfway done. Basketball's been done.
We're back kind of into – we're sort of back into like a normal like time frame for what sports should be going on right now. Like for a minute there, like September, it was like I literally cannot keep up with everything going on. But now it's like we're finally made it to the World Series. NFL is just barely staying on schedule, staying on track at this point. And obviously normally we'd have the NBA starting up probably like this week, honestly, in a normal season. Isn't it normally like mid-October?
Yeah. I mean, think about it for football. This is the first week, like 2 or 3 weeks maybe, that we haven't had a reschedule or something got canceled or something like that, right?
I mean, we came damn close.
Yeah, we did, but I mean, like we've had it basically every week, but this week. So hats off to the NFL, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's weird, man. They have just
subtle tip of the cap.
They have like no interest in not playing a game or really rescheduling a game. It's not that they don't care about safety, but they're just like, we don't give a shit if there's like 5 people that have COVID.
Well, it's like, I don't want to sit here and defend the NFL, but like you almost, if your ultimate goal is to like get through a season, not have to go to a week 8, not have to do any of that, like I wouldn't say like you shouldn't care if like a couple of COVID cases pop up, but like if you're the NFL, just like based on the numbers alone, you can't like shut the season down off of a handful of cases.
Yeah, I mean it's too much money that you're losing to have to reschedule. And like, look, I'm so excited tonight. If Dak Prescott wasn't hurt, we'd have a better Monday Night Football doubleheader, but it's still going to be a good doubleheader.
It should still be exciting, at least. I also need a monster game from D-Hop.
If we're talking fantasy, in another league, I was down like 9. He has Arizona's defense tomorrow and Kenyon Drake, and I had Robert Woods. And for some reason, I decided to roll with the Rams defense this week. I think I bought a little bit too much.
It's not a terrible call, honestly.
It's not terrible, but
who else did you have available?
I like waivers wise, I could have gone like Miami against the Jets.
But you wanted to bet on the Jets this week anyways. So
no, I did not bet on the Jets. I just
did you or did you not bet on the Jets?
I bet against the spread.
Did you
it's
bet
different.
on the Jets?
It's different.
Did you bet on the Jets?
It's different.
Did you encourage the American people, the people watching us, to bet on the New York Jets? Because that's an offense.
No, I encourage them to not trust the Dolphins. Either way, it's egregious.
And inherently told them to bet on the Jets.
It was a rough betting week for me.
I turned it around. I had my first.
No, you did. But like, it was weird because like Panthers were -1 against the Bears. Like I took the Bears. Like Detroit was -3. I felt confident with them against Jacksonville, but I didn't include them on here. Our lock of the week in Tennessee, never a doubt.
Never a doubt. I was super confident there.
Yeah. But yeah, basically
I was a competent Browns showing away from a 4-0 week. I went 2-1, and then so like my own personal bets 2-1, plus our lock of the week hit. So it's like I'd call it 3-1.
Yeah, no, that's.
I call it 3-1.
What was your? Did you have?
I had Miami -9.5. As if I will get into all our bets again, but Miami -9.5. I had Washington +2.5. Also, never in doubt.
Never in doubt.
Hey, good teams win, great teams cover.
Neither of those teams deserve to be good. Like
they're both great, I guess. And then I had the can't even think Browns Steelers on the over. Literally just like a competent Browns showing from hitting the over there.
What was the over?
51, I believe. It's on a rundown somewhere. I saved it. No, it's not. I put it in my notes. I think it was 51. Yeah, it was over 51.
Yeah,
they just missed.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, well,
we got a lot of football we're gonna get to, but we'll start with the World Series. Look, I mean, baseball gets a bad knock for, it's a long series. It seems like it's usually just chalk. Things kind of just go according to plan. And this was everything against that, right? Rays up 3-0. They almost blow a 3-0 series lead, end up winning
3-1. 3-1. The
What?
Rays, you said the Rays or the Braves?
The Rays.
Oh, they said the Braves.
The Rays were up 3-0, almost blow that, almost become the second team in MLB history to blow a 3-0 series lead. I can't remember the other one. Resident Yankees fan Ben Carlton. Can you remember the other one?
Nope, not coming to me. I don't know.
Well, if anyone would like to include it in the comments, please do so.
Not ringing any bells. No, for real. Like, I have never been in like a more uncomfortable spot as a baseball fan than I was watching Game 7.
You said as a baseball fan, because I was about to say Eagles Patriots Super Bowl is probably worse.
See, it wasn't. I mean, you and I have had this conversation before. I know a lot more Patriots fans than I know Eagles fans.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot easier to root against the Patriots, because like even if the Eagles lost, I would have had fewer people to like chirp, and conversely fewer people chirping at me.
What if it was the Cowboys instead?
The year of Dez catching it, I was terrified for a Cowboys Patriots Super Bowl. I don't know if I could watch that Super Bowl, in all honesty.
Wow.
I don't know how I would probably watch it. It would be just so immensely unenjoyable. Like, it wouldn't be fun at all.
It'd be like, I don't know, my football equivalent would be like Giants, Steelers are still our child.
I can't. It wouldn't be like Giants Seahawks, because obviously that's not gonna be a Super Bowl. But I imagine Giants Seahawks would be pretty damn unpleasant for you.
Not really. Seahawks, like, beat them in the Super Bowl.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I don't know.
Broncos, Ravens.
Well, let's get back to baseball here.
Yeah.
Like, talking about random made-up Super Bowl matchups.
Hypothetically, if you have 6 teams, like.
No, but I mean, I'm sitting in my living room watching Game 7, and I'm just like, look, I'm embarrassed to say I was a lot closer to like almost sort of rooting for the Astros than I would have liked to admit.
Wow.
Like,
baseball storyline wise?
Not even storyline wise, just because like I hate the Rays. Like, the Rays Yankees beef is a lot more like personal, because we didn't play the Astros this year. The Yankees and the Astros didn't play. So like I didn't get to like see the Yankees and the Astros on the field together.
It wasn't about this year for the Astros though. That is honestly not, but it's very surprising.
Look, in some respects, like the Rays making the World Series like eases the pain a little bit, because now the Yankees the last 4 postseasons have lost to a team that made and or won the World Series, and it's like, as a fan, all you can hope for is like you lost to the eventual champion. You lost to the team that no one else could beat. Like, you can't have too much shame in losing to the eventual World Series champion.
That's such a cop-out in like the semifinals.
I'll take every cop-out I can get.
That's such a you could do that in like the first round. That's such a cop-out in the semifinals. So you're like, shit, we lost to the team that eventually made it to the World Series. Like, yes, they beat you to go to the World Series. Like,
still, I mean, it still counts.
Yeah, barely.
Like,
that's honestly very surprising to hear that you were more rooting for the Rays, though. I would have thought it was the other way. I'll ask you this.
I can't root for the Astros. I can't.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what I meant. I was more surprised that you were leaning towards the Astros.
I wasn't leaning towards the Astros. It was closer to like a 50-50 split than I honestly would have expected.
Did you expect at any point in that game for the Rays to win? Not in the game, coming into it. I thought they were going to. No, when they were going into Game 7, like I thought 100% the Astros were going to win.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no type of confidence. I was split. I couldn't tell you who was going to win.
I was like, this team just blew. Rays just blew a 3-0 lead.
Charlie Morton. I liked Charlie Morton pitching in Game 7, obviously.
Yeah.
I was dead. I at that point with a Game 7 in a series that's been so tight, it was like. I was talking with one of my roommates, Jack Hamilton, about it. And he was like, "Oh, who do you think's gonna win?" I'm like, as a baseball fan, like I don't want to like try to predict. I
thought the Rays were gonna win as just a purely baseball fan, but then I'm just like, I don't know. They just blew a 3-0 lead. Astros are hot. Like that's what we've been talking about since the playoffs started. No.
It was. Look at the series. Looked like it should have been a sweep, and then once you get to a Game 7, like throw the whole series out the window. At that point, like there's nothing that is actually going to tell you who's going to win the series other than just playing the game. Like it's that simple.
Yeah.
as you know, the analyst in me, the guy who predicted a Braves-Rays World Series, was a little upset to see the Dodgers win last night. I'm not gonna lie. I would have been. Hey, if I could have gotten the LCS rounds perfect, I would have been pretty happy.
That'd been nice. I
think you got almost the exact opposite of perfect.
Well, no, I ended up getting the World Series right. I had Rays Dodgers.
Oh right, you didn't have that. You didn't even have the Astros making the LCS.
Yeah,
you the Astros in the first round.
Yeah,
like 0 round, honestly, if we can call it that.
Yeah, I had him losing in the 0 round. No, the first round. What?
The first round, but like the LDS shouldn't be the second round. The LDS needs I liked the 1-game playoff a lot more than I liked the wild card round. I did.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I do.
Yeah, if it no, I agree with that. If you're gonna go with wild card, anything can happen. It should have been a 1 game.
It's did you read the 2 most recent Ringer pieces on the playoffs?
I read the Rays Dodgers one about it being weird, even though they're number 1 seeds, which is
that's what I'm talking about. It's that's where I've got this cutout from in the rundown. We'll get to that in a little bit. The odds of both number 1 teams making the playoffs, according to this Ringer article, both number 1 teams making the World Series, 6.3%. I think.
I thought it was 4.
It might have been 4. Low. Very low odds of both number 1 seeds making the World Series.
To be fair, is because the the analytics or the numbers they were crunching didn't like the Yankees against didn't like the Rays against the Yankees.
Well, it's not that it didn't like them. It was that they had the Yankees, Rays, and Twins erroneously. I don't know why. I don't know what system they were using to have the Twins be an AL pennant favorite. But I mean, deservedly so. Yankees at Rays was a 5-game series. It could not have possibly been much closer.
Yeah.
Either way, though, it's I just hope that Rob Manfred doesn't look at this postseason and be well, clearly the expanded format's working.
Well, it's interesting because when we got the expanded format and when we were doing our playoff preview, we were so the problem with this could be that we're just going to get a team that comes out of nowhere and gets hot, which should be great on paper, but also it makes it harder for the teams that were the best teams in the regular season. It's less likely statistically for them to make the finals or the World Series, I should say.
The finals. Come on.
To make
the championship series.
Yeah. To make
what do you call it? The conference.
I call it the conference series by accident. It statistically makes it harder for them to make the World Series because there are straight up just more teams.
Exactly.
But that has not happened because
it's a tough line to draw of you as a fan, from a fan's perspective, you want to see the best teams competing for a championship, obviously, but you also love to see the underdog. And it's obviously the Rays are the underdog in the series, but to call the Rays the underdog, I feel just completely discredits the fact that they were the best team in the AL this year.
Yeah.
In 2008 when they made the World Series, they were an underdog.
You call them the underdog because one team has to be the underdog. That's just the way it goes.
Also, the Dodgers, I think, are. I might as well get into it. I think we're in agreement here. We both agree that the Dodgers are the better team.
Well, I think the reason I'm going with the Dodgers is because they have days off. They go back-to-back in games 1 and 2. Then they have a day off before game 3. Then they go 3, 4, and 5, I think, in a row. And then they have
it's a normal schedule. It's 2-3-2. Thank the Lord. Yeah. Oh, my God. Thank you, Rob Manfred. Can't believe about those
they had to.
Out of my mouth. That's got to be changed for next season. If they want to stick with this expanded format,
they cannot
cannot have 7. You can't go 5 day off 7 straight. That's just impossible.
it made things really interesting for the Rays and the Dodgers who have and the Braves too, who have awesome bullpens, and they had to rely on them heavily. Obviously, when you have 5 games in 5 days, but
or 7 and 7.
Yeah, but it's not for a good reason that it made it interesting. It made it interesting because it's this guy has thrown, a total of 80 pitches over the last 3 games. Or it's
this guy's thrown 3 innings in the last month and a half. Here he is pitching game 7 of the NLCS.
Yeah. Because there's literally no one available.
Exactly.
They got to change that. I also
just as a player safety issue, player safety, but just as a health issue. For
absolutely.
You're it's October. Guys are going to get pushed to their absolute limits and possibly a little bit past, but you can't have that. It's just not good. It lowers the quality of the game because thankfully we didn't see any awful situations, but not any awful situations. But what was it, game 6 where the Dodgers won 15-3?
Yeah. It was game
not game 6. Why can't I keep it?
It was game 4. No, it was game 3. Game 3. Make it 2-1.
Yes, exactly right.
Yep.
the Braves so quickly had to punt on that game because they're like, all right, well, we're down 8. Are we really going to throw our top bullpen arms now? Absolutely not. Like you don't want to see teams punting on postseason games because they're worried about their bullpen usage.
Also, classic Braves, right? I classic Atlanta.
Classic Atlanta.
We haven't talked about this. Like, God damn, man. Just what? Yeah. Blowing big leads, like, it's absurd. Like, don't have to talk about the Super Bowl anymore. Like, no.
Is there a worse fan city right now than Atlanta?
No, because they've had enough promise that it makes it worse.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they were there.
Like, and Georgia's disappointing.
If you start with a 23 blown lead, like, I can't imagine like a worse series of collapses. Georgia choked twice against Bama.
Yeah, they choked twice.
The Braves just choked. The Falcons finally got their first win of the season. Good job, guys.
Yeah, congrats.
Still 1-5 with like 2 of the best wide receivers in the league right now. The former MVP and Matt Ryan with another former MVP and Todd Gurley. People forget. I forget that Todd Gurley won an MVP.
Me included.
Me being people. It was like the meme that's like, oh, so-and-so be doing this. Like, I'm so-and-so.
I'm looking up
Todd Gurley. People forget Todd Gurley won MVP. I'm people.
I am people. I'm forgetting. I'm looking up worst Atlanta sports losses recently. Some that you may forget. And, like, we have to include this. Braves giving up 10 runs in Game 5 against the Cardinals last year.
Oh, yeah.
The Hawks getting swept. The 60-win top-seeded Hawks getting swept by LeBron.
See, that I don't include. That was also a minute ago at this point. That was 2013?
2015.
That's still 6 full NBA seasons ago.
That's a year before LeBron's comeback against the Warriors.
But that has nothing to do with Atlanta.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, it's been 5 years. Not
it's also ago. But it's like that's also a little bit different because, like, that's LeBron in the playoffs in the East. Like, what's he gonna do? Lose? It's
crazy, man. Like, poor Atlanta. We have the same thing. We have the same thing. We don't have the same amount of games. I was leaning that way, and then you were yelling at me to be different, so I changed it a little bit.
I was not yelling at you.
You said, bro, change it. And I was like, oh, fine. You drive a hard bargain. You drive a hard bargain.
I'll be perfectly honest when I'm yelling at you. I wasn't yelling at you in that situation.
I wanted to pick Dodgers in 6, but Ben bullied me, and I'm going to go with Dodgers in 7. I think that if there's no rest, if it was just the regular format we had seen up till now, like no days off in between or maybe one day off, I would have picked the Rays. But I think the Dodgers.
Well, today's a day off. You know that, right?
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, if the series was just 7 games, 7 days, like it had been before with no days off, I would have leaned more towards the Rays. I just think at this point, the Braves offense was better than the Rays offense is. The Dodgers survived that with less rest. That's really what I just keep coming back to.
And I'm honestly I'd be more inclined to take the Rays in 5 or the Dodgers in 5 than I would Dodgers in 7, honestly. The Rays are not trending in the right direction.
No.
This really opened my eyes in the playoffs this year, in the 3 series the Rays have played, using OPS as again, there's no one catch-all metric to tell you how good a team's offense is. OPS is pretty damn good. It's on-base percentage plus slugging. It is one of the better really broadly indicative metrics you can get. The Rays had much better OPS in the wild card round against the Jays. They out OPS'd them by 225.
Yo, you got out OPS, bro.
In the divisional series against the Yankees, it was basically even. The Yankees had a slightly higher OPS, 763 for the Yanks, 713 for the Rays. In the LCS against the Astros, the Rays OPS was 675. The Astros OPS was 751. That's a sizable difference.
Well, and I mean,
outside of dudes named Randy, the Rays are not hitting the ball very well at all right now.
Some MFer named Randy.
Some dude named Randy.
Randy's
hitting 380. Randy's slash line in the postseason right now. 382, 433, 855. Rays not named Randy Arozarena hit a $183 in the ALCS. That's
not
bad.
Good.
Very
and
bad.
We knew the Rays offense was not the strength of their team. That is nothing new.
Not a weakness, though. Not a weakness.
Well, that's what made them such a good team is that, their starting pitching, fantastic. Their bullpen, probably the best in the game, if not the best in the game.
No, statistically, best bullpen in the league this year.
Offense, not their strength. Have enough players that can get it done.
Well, Kevin Cash and the whole front office is just so good at finding the right platoon advantages. It works. Obviously, they're the number one team in the league.
The middle of the rotation scares me a little bit for LA, but I think with days off.
But the crazy thing is look, I'll be the first one to say Clayton Kershaw in the playoffs, not a guy I want to trust. But you still love the idea of Clayton Kershaw being your 3 starter in a World Series and in your rotation. If you're Clayton Kershaw is my 3, very happy with that.
If you're like a
3, borderline 4, honestly.
If you're a bullpen nut, there is no better matchup you could have gotten. It's not like this Dodgers offense for the most part has been lighting things up, but it certainly has not been this bad.
But also you look at the lineup and you're well, they're gonna hit.
Yeah, shit.
They're gonna get the run.
They're gonna hit, but it's all right. When is it gonna happen? It's gonna happen eventually.
It's about timely hits. That's literally what we were saying about the Rays Yankees series. The Rays
saw it.
Got timely hits.
Saw it from Cody Bellinger.
If they're not home runs,
the Braves had Bellinger's number all series long, and then when it mattered the most, he came through.
Cody Bellinger's hitting in the postseason for his career in almost 50 games now.
What?
$193.
Ugh.
Yeah. I knew he wasn't. I knew he hadn't been great in the postseason, but he's hitting under 200 in almost 50 career postseason.
I'll ask this because I don't think there's no question about this, right? The player that stands to gain the most from a World Series win on either team is obviously Clayton Kershaw, no doubt.
By far, yeah.
Who's number 2? I think it's Cody Bellinger because at this point he hit under 200 all season long. Take away that MVP, and you're like, is this guy the best player in baseball? Is he one of the best players in baseball? You've made it to the World Series this many times.
I wish you would put this in the rundown because I would have loved to do a thought process about this. Sorry. Off the top of my head, I'd say it's Cody Bellinger. And Mookie's got a ring.
Yeah,
and
that's
no one on the Rays really profiles as a guy who needs a ring.
You're gonna remember this.
And the Rays are all kind of cast-offs. And that was disrespectful to the Rays. I don't mean it like that, but it's there's no one on the Rays that's got a history of not getting a ring,
Yeah, and it's no one's gonna look at the players on the Rays. Probably, I mean, who knows? Not gonna look at them and be like, oh, remember that time they lost in the World Series? It's
when Kershaw. When a dude named Randy is, in his 7th straight MVP season and hasn't won a ring yet, we'll talk about it. But
a motherfucker named Randy, man.
All the pressure's on the Dodgers.
Yeah,
all the pressure's on the Dodgers series.
Absolutely.
And
can they respond? Are they going to choke?
And I don't even know if I can call it a choke because the Rays are a damn good team.
Yeah.
Look, the Dodgers have won 8 straight division titles. Made the World Series in 2017 and 2018. Obviously, lost both of those. Lost to the Astros in 2017, the infamous 2017 Stros. First round loss last year to the Nats. Second round. All right, if the wild card round is, you can call that round 1. The wild card game is round 0.
Round half.
Round game 0. Half. If you lose the wild card game, did you make the playoffs?
Yes. You made the playoffs, but you're not in the playoff bracket.
All right.
It's on. You have the playoff bracket there, and you're listed there.
I think this is just semantics, just kind of making shit up. But in my head, if you make the wild card game and lose the wild card game, you weren't in the playoffs. You played 163 games.
I don't agree with that, and the only reason I don't is because I'm the Mets definitely made the.
Yeah, the year the Mets made the wild card game and lost in the wild card game. How was your postseason experience as a Mets fan?
Very short-lived.
Did you enjoy your 9 innings of sort of postseason?
It was short-lived, but I had a postseason experience. I did.
I don't know. That's not what we're here.
I did. If it's not a regular season game and it's not an exhibition game or a preseason game, it's a playoff game. Is it not? Semantics.
If you play a one game, let's say you actually play a game 163 where you're tied with a team in the division.
So all right. So what about? It's not the same.
Oh, and I don't care if this take is terrible.
It's not the same. Or what happened this year with the NBA? When it was Grizzlies, Trailblazers.
Kind of the same deal, in my opinion.
For me, that's not a playoff game because it's a little different. Because that's just straight up a 9 seed. That's not a game that is set for who plays in that first round. It's a little different for me.
I think, like, we can both relate to, like, as a fan, you make, okay, great, you made the playoffs, and then you got sent home a day after you made the playoffs. Like, cool. Enjoy.
You're getting roasted. You're getting roasted in the chat right now.
Samosa Poppy. Get out of here.
If I'm not mistaken, I went to high school with him with a couple of years. So thanks for joining the chat. Am
I allowed to say? Is your high school still the same mascot? Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, unfortunately, we're still the Sewanaka Indians.
Go Tribe. I mean,
I don't know. Tribe is reserved for us Jews.
True. All right. Look, we both got the Dodgers here. And it's like there's almost not even a lot to talk about. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about this year. But in the interest of, like, we've got other things on our rundown to talk about. It's like it's literally the star power and, like, the overall talent of the Dodgers versus the great managing, like, the platoon, the numbers game of the Rays.
It's the scrappy, like, no one thought we should be. No,
I wouldn't say scrappy.
Scrappy. No one thought we should be here, even though we're, the second best team in the MLB all season type of team that, like, hasn't really been there. Really good players, but you're like, oh shit, eventually they're going to make it. And here they finally are. And then the Dodgers, who were the favorites all season long.
The Dodgers
were going to win it. And
how many MVP and Cy Young winners on their roster?
It feels like this is their year.
I mean, it felt like they had a couple other years that were their year.
That's why I would say, like, this is a choke. Like, if they don't win this year, this would probably be the worst one.
Right. Last question before we move on to the rest of our rundown, because we've been talking about this for a good, like, 40 minutes at this point.
Classic.
Who are you rooting for? Not who do you think's going to win. Who are you rooting for?
The Rays.
As a fan.
Probably the Rays. Like, I don't like the Dodgers. But
this is we both know what the answer. This is a classic AL/NL.
Yeah.
Fan mismatch here.
It's a little different because, like,
I'll make your life easier. I'm rooting for the Dodgers.
Yes, well, that is no doubt. And, like, I keep going back and forth because I was thinking about this. Like, I really want to see Clayton Kershaw win a ring, right? Like, I like
Clayton Kershaw with his, I think, just barely sub-5 World Series ERA.
If he wins a ring this year, if he pitches lights out in a game or in 2 games, like, he erases the knock on him. In my eyes,
like, sort of.
But it's like, it doesn't matter if he struggled before because he got a ring. It doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, a ring does kind of erase.
Yeah.
A lot.
We'll always talk about it, but we'll always just come back to the fact that, yeah, he has a ring, so whatever.
I was trying to find Clayton's ERA, his World Series ERA.
Okay, so I'll say what I'm thinking of who I'm rooting for. I really want Clayton to get that ring, and I like Mookie Betts. I like Cody Bellinger. Like, it's a long time.
It's really hard to root against Mookie. Like,
yeah, but do I really want LA to win the baseball and the basketball championship?
Well, someone's doubling up.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I want that. Like, I have no problem with Tampa Bay. I don't give a shit about hockey. So, like, it's fine. Congrats to the Lightning. And also, congrats to a great career to Doc Emrick. Duh.
Oh, I was going to bring that up in the mailbag, but.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about it in the mailbag then. I don't really like hockey. Doesn't affect me for the Lightning. Even though I do hate
I didn't enjoy watching the Lightning win the cup.
They knocked off my Islanders.
To be fair, the Lightning are like New York Rangers South these days. So, like, I wasn't terribly mad. A bunch of, like, ex-Rangers finally getting a cup.
Yeah.
Ryan McDonough, great guy. You even know who Ryan McDonough is?
The name does sound familiar.
Nice.
I swear to God. I could probably name like 5 hockey players.
Mookie is the Bo Jackson of baseball and bowling. You tell him, young Gilgamesh.
See, bowled a perfect game.
Yeah. Actually, like, super impressive. But
yeah. Oh, really? I can't say I've ever done that. I don't know.
Can't relate.
Probably never.
I bowled a turkey one time.
That's pretty cool. I don't think I ever have. I don't know what the highest.
I feel like you would remember it.
Yeah.
3 strikes.
I bowled a turkey.
I was like 14. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like doing like the.
Does Wii bowling count?
No.
Okay, I've never bowled a turkey then. Let's move on to the NFL. We had a really good slate. It turned out to be
two sick matchups tonight also.
Yeah, we'll start with Monday Night Football because we have the doubleheader at 5 p.m. We have Arizona at Dallas. At 5 p.m. we have the Chiefs at Buffalo, and then at 8:15 p.m. we have the Cardinals at Dallas. We'll start with KC and Buffalo. This is clearly the better game of the two because of Dak's injury. I think either way it probably is. One of these teams
even with Dak healthy.
Yeah. One of these teams is going to lose 2 straight.
And we talked about this on Thursday. It's like, which team is more concerned about a back-to-back loss here? Mm-hmm. Like, the more I think about it, I almost, like, don't think it really – not that it doesn't matter, but, like, both of these teams really have no cause for concern even if they lose. Like, yeah, if one of these teams gets absolutely smoked today, like, it sucks. It's, it's concerning, but, like, I'd say both these teams are feeling pretty confident about their ability to win their divisions. And you're kind of playing – obviously, you want that number 1 seed to get the first-round bye, but it's like I'd say Kansas City's probably more confident winning the AFC West than Buffalo should be about the AFC East.
I agree with that.
But, of course, after New England looked like dog shit against Denver and Cam did not look good.
You don't practice a whole week. It's kind of tough, too.
It's when you've got Patrick Mahomes, you're just very much in, like, make the playoffs mode.
We talked about it. There's no concern until it's, like, week 13, 14. And you're like, shit, wait, are we going to miss the playoffs? Like, that's when you can be concerned. And obviously, like, we're fans. It's obviously, if you're Andy Reid, you're like, I do not want to lose 2 straight games.
No, obviously. Like, it's not like you're coming in there like, we can chalk this one up. And, like, I'd say it's a more important game for Buffalo.
Yeah. And, like, I mean – not that it should really count to much, but it's like you're Kansas City. You're like, we lost to a Raiders team that is mediocre. Like, they're not bad. They're definitely not good. They're not good. I think that's.
Are they a potential playoff team?
I think they'll challenge people, but I don't think they'll make there's too many.
They're a potential playoff team, though.
There are too potential being used lightly. Like, I'm still picking the Bills, the Patriots, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Browns, the Titans.
Are you that confident in the Patriots?
Over their chances over the Raiders? Yes.
Are you yes. You listed the Patriots off like you're super confident in them making the playoffs.
I listed the teams off that I am more confident to make the playoffs than the Raiders, and the Patriots are there. I just named 7 teams.
I think you're sleeping on the Raiders just a touch.
I am fully knocked out, dude. I just took ZQL on them. Then the later game, obviously it sucks. Dak's hurt and he's not going to be playing. Should still be a good game. Kyler Murray's
Look, man, I hate seeing a guy get injured. I do love seeing Dallas get fucked. It's just great.
You did.
Yo, Nolan is on my side tonight. I love it tonight. It's not 2 p.m.
Yeah, geez, rough day.
My schedule's all thrown off because I'm like supposed to be in class right now. But,
I hate when people are like, I love the Giants, but I feel bad for Dak to get hurt. It's like, who gives a shit? Like, you're sad the guy got hurt. Like, who cares? I was late in my whole timeline. It's still going to be a good game. Kyler's Monday Night Football debut. He's been very up and down this season. Like,
I think DeAndre Hopkins is going for like 12 catches, 217 yards, 3 touchdowns tonight.
Or is that what you need?
That's what I need. Well, that'll actually be if we could talk fantasy for a second.
I would love to.
Did you see the matchups I had this week?
I did not, no.
All right. My worst matchup was Mike Davis against the Bears. The Bears had the 10th best running defense against fantasy running backs.
Still pretty safe, though.
I think my kicker had like the 19th hardest matchup.
Who cares?
And then like everyone else on my team was like a matchup like 25th or lower.
You put up like 70, right?
I'm at 70 points. Yep.
Jeez,
like
this is 10-man PPR, by the way. And like Ben, this is our 3rd year. Ben, the first year lost in the finals. 2nd year lost in the first round, right?
First round, yep.
Yeah, like you're listening to the 2 guys who have been up there every single year.
When I was looking at this week, I literally was playing Ham this week, a guy I live with, and I'm looking at it. I'm talking all sorts of shit all week. So I'm like, I got Alexander Madison going. I got beautiful matchups.
I just want to say, you talked big about Alexander Madison last week. You were like,
he was the 3rd running back. He was RB3 this week. Every ranking you saw, he was RB3. Like, this is literally exactly why you draft him. Dalvin goes down. You're like, all right, cool. Got an RB1 for the week. 3.6 points. Are you kidding me? And like, I'm not dead. I'm not dead yet. I need the Bills offense to like pop off because Ham's got. He's got like the Chiefs defense Harrison Butker and Amari going tonight. So that's obviously not the Bills game, but like,
And you have a 13-point advantage?
I'm projected to lose by like 5 right now, I think.
Mm.
I'm giving, projections don't mean anything. But
Yeah.
although someone that just got in the chat who I'm beating in fantasy this week, Josh Hayden. How's it going?
I'm in a pretty interesting matchup. My team kind of shit the bed. I'm 5-0. My team is certified sick.
Yeah, your team's nasty.
And I had to rely on Derrick Henry to put up a 40 burger. Yes.
Well, I've got Derrick Henry in the Dynasty League. I mean, I'm 5-0 there.
Yeah, that is just an absurd league, though.
That league is a disaster.
I like my chances. Right now, I'm losing to our good friend Jake Glennon. He scored 116.54, and I have 82.8. So I'm down by my calculations 34. And you're
projected to win by like 15 or 20, aren't you?
I have Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, and I need 34 points out of them. I get one like 50-yard touchdown to Diggs from Allen. I feel good.
I mean, I feel like game flow wise, you're probably in a good spot because I feel like this game is more likely to be a shootout type of game.
Yeah. Tre'Davious White is coming back this week for the Bills, which is huge for them. No Sammy Watkins on the other side for the Chiefs, but I still think they're angry and they come out airing it out.
That's what you hope.
Yeah, that too. Let's move on to the games that we liked from Sunday. I saw an article.
We put Browns Steelers at the top of our rundown for games to watch this week.
I saw an article on The Athletic, and I tweeted out to our good friend Jack Powers, who's a diehard Browns fan. And it was teams that you like against the spread, and I think it was Steelers -3, which I took, and that worked. It was like the Steelers are like the 13-year-old who's like starting to gain confidence in middle school or whatever, and is like a bully on the playground, and like his younger like 7-year-old brother, and he just beats the shit out of him.
I didn't see this. This was in the art. Okay, this wasn't in the
article. It literally was just like a 13-year-old bully like beating down on his 7-year-old son. This is essentially what this game was. The Steelers absolutely walloped the Browns. Baker Mayfield wasn't 100%. They were losing their right guard, whose name is escaping me.
Wyatt Teller.
Yeah, Wyatt Teller.
Best right guard in the league.
Who's been fantastic.
Pro Football Hayden.
But still, they got absolutely manhandled. Steelers now 5-0 on the season.
4 sacks against the Browns. I mean, Baker was getting annihilated. I'm surprised it took them that long to take Baker out, honestly.
It looked bad, but the whole offense did.
This whole offense looked bad, but just from like a player health standpoint, Baker came into the game with bruised ribs, and he took this one shot, like he got kind of like wrapped up like around the waist, but he was like fighting to stay up. And then I think Cam Hayward came in, just cracked him, just like helmet into ribs. Like Baker got up slow. And at that point, I think the Browns were down like 20 something at that point. Pull him. Like, you're not winning that game. Baker does not look good. You're literally just gonna get him like broken ribs and throw your season away at that point.
There's not much you can do about ribs too. Like you can give them painkillers, but like you can't.
No, it's just a pain management issue.
Yeah. They just overran them. Like it's and
I didn't. And how much? I think the question becomes like how fraudulent are the Browns?
I think this is more indicative of the Steelers. And like I was talking high on the Steelers with caution before the season started. You were not jumping on that wagon with me.
No.
This is what they have to do. Like Big Ben does not have to be the Big Ben that we've seen like his entire career. Like he has
good anymore.
Yeah, but he has 4 very good wide receivers around him that he's like, eeny, meeny, miny, sure.
Well, the Steelers front office is just like, all right, which stud wide receiver are we going to draft in like the 5th round this year?
And it's at this point, it's turned into like, I don't think this. I was like, okay, say it's not like I had an evaluation on Chase Claypool, but say
I did.
Oh, okay. Say I liked Chase Claypool. I wouldn't. At this point, it's not even like, oh, Steelers did a good job picking him. No, it'd be, oh, I evaluated him well because the Steelers picked him. Like they just have a way of just finding just.
Antonio Brown was a 5th rounder.
Yeah.
Like a 5th rounder out of Central Michigan. Remember when Antonio Brown was the best receiver in the league?
Remember when Antonio Brown was in the league?
He's actually eligible to return in 2 weeks if a team wants to sign him.
I wonder.
I can't imagine a team picks him up.
Yeah, because they haven't even resolved his legal issues. That's the big thing. Is that like if something comes out after, and then they just find things, it's gonna be like.
And I'd say the bigger thing is he's like clearly like not stable.
Yeah.
But
anyway, this is one of the concerns we had a couple questions. Was this weak Cleveland secondary going to be able to handle the Steelers' weapons? No. Can
Nope.
Cleveland handle the blitz? Also no. All right, that puts a wrap on that one. We had a battle of the greats between Brady and Rodgers, and this game was over midway through the second quarter.
And you talk about like the start Green Bay got off to.
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers pulling out the double pump.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Dude,
Phenomenal.
He should have gone with the 3 pump though.
He would have gotten the flag.
Those
are the rules.
It is
the third pump gets you the flag.
It is the 3 pump.
Are you advocating for Aaron Rodgers to get the penalty there?
Yeah, dude. If you're gonna go for Hingle McCringleberry, you got to pull out the 3 pumps. If you haven't seen it, you got to.
Rodgers is too much of a team. Rodgers is a team player. He doesn't want to get that penalty. 2 pumps works.
If you're listening and you have absolutely no clue what we're talking about, just look up Hingle McCringleberry on Key and Peele, 3 pumps, and enjoy. I'm envious that you're watching for the first time.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Rodgers got worked.
Yeah. Their offensive line was a mess, and he looked really bad. I benched Rodgers in fantasy this week, and after Matt Stafford put up like 12 points in the 1 o'clock game, I was like, Jesus Christ, I really benched Aaron Rodgers. Got 4 points. No touchdowns, 2 picks, like 120-something yards. Yeah.
Only his 3rd career pick 6, which is kind of remarkable.
Yeah.
And Jameis Winston throws 3 pick 6s in a game. Like, Tom Brady throws 3 pick 6s in 6 weeks.
Yeah, pretty crazy, but not this week. So
no, Brady also like did not have a good game though. At all.
I mean, look,
he had a classic Tom Brady game, literally.
No, this is classic, like end of his career, arm like barely holding on, Brady. Like you need.
When I say classic Brady of the last like 4 years.
No, over the last 2 years. Like you need a good defense because he can't run the offense. Hey, on Second Floor Sports, we always talk about how valuable it is to have a game manager. If you're not going to be a lights-out quarterback, you got to be a good game manager. There was never any doubt that Brady was a good game manager. When you have those types of receivers and your defense is that dominant, and also shout out Ronald Jones. Where the hell did that come from?
Rojo, yeah, for real.
Fourth 100-yard game of the season. He's 3rd in the league in rushing yards. What?
Yeah, wait. What?
Yeah,
I know that.
Yes, Ronald Jones, the MF 2nd.
Huh.
Pretty crazy, huh?
Brady throwing a touchdown to Gronk, his first of the year.
Yeah, and Gronk, his right arm hurt so much that he had to spike it with his left.
Dude, watching Gronk like try to move on a football field,
painful.
Makes me think I could like probably outrun him at this point. Dude, seriously,
just straight up outrun him. You might be
literally a 40-yard dash. If not me, I think Dash Dravanos could probably beat Gronk in a 40-yard dash.
Okay, well then you're just talking about an athletic specimen.
But you just look. I'm not a scout. Like you watch Gronk move around on the field, he just looks slow and unathletic.
We'll put this poll out on Instagram and Twitter so everyone can answer. Can Ben Carlton beat Rob Gronkowski in a 40-yard dash? Do
you think Gronk runs a sub-5?
Yeah, like a 4.8, 4.9.
What did Gronk run at his actual combine? Hold up.
Probably like a 4.6, 4.7. I saw one drop.
He ran a 4.68 at his combine. Yeah. I think he's sub-5 at this point.
Yeah, he's still.
He ran a 4.7 as a rookie.
So you think he's sub-5, or you don't think he's sub-5?
I think I don't think he's sub-5.
Oh, wow.
I mean, if he only ran a 4.7 at his combine, presumably that's basically the fastest he's going to run. Maybe a couple years into his career, he runs faster. But after all these injuries, after all this, yes, of course he'll run a sub-5. Nolan, what do you think this is?
There was one drop in particular that I saw that he had. He had to dive out, and it kind of a drop, not the best pass. And he just stayed on the ground for 5 seconds, and he was in so much pain. And it's just pain. Besides the obvious factor of why it's painful to watch, it is painful.
Why is it painful to watch, Matias?
It is painful to watch this man just getting up and just creaking over the side.
Why is it already painful to watch?
Ben, if you're not going to answer who the other team to blow a 3-0 lead was in the MLB playoffs, then we don't have to talk.
Cool.
Yeah, right.
We can agree on that. That works.
Okay, cool. It was just painful, dude. He just creaking over to the sideline. The coach is waiting with WD-40 just to fucking It is painful, I will say, before we move on to the rest of the games. I have one question before we move on from Packers Bucks, but seeing Brady in a line and then the next game being a New England game, it's still weird. It hasn't been weird
Is
since
that game in New England?
What?
Is that in New England or at Tampa?
The game that they play?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Oh, that was also week 1.
Yeah.
I'm bugging.
Week 1.
No, what
Saints,
am I saying?
What are you saying? It was Saints Bucks week 1.
What am I even?
They don't. I don't think they play this year. The Giants and Bucks play.
Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, you're bugging, man.
Moving on.
They haven't played since 2017.
Moving on.
No. Last question. It's about Packers Bucks. Did we learn more about the Packers in this game or the Bucks?
I don't think we learned a whole lot. Honestly, we probably learned a little bit more about the Packers, but like the Bucks defense was good. We knew the Bucks defense was good.
I would say that we learned more about the Bucks.
I don't think we learned a ton either way, honestly. I think we realized that Rodgers needs Aaron Jones to be popping off and needs the running game to be moving a lot more efficiently than it was against the Bucks. And this is kind of what we talked about when we were previewing the Packers this year. It was like it's a good and bad situation where Aaron Rodgers doesn't need to be like Aaron Rodgers and like pulling shit out of his ass and like making these remarkable throws to keep the Packers in a game. You never heard that? That's not my line. You've never heard Aaron Rodgers?
No, I really haven't.
Huh.
Sorry.
When we've free Aaron Jones, finally freed.
Yeah.
Like the Bucks stopped Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I mean it's
struggled.
And like you say like they needed him to pop off. Like he did nothing because the Bucks had nothing. I would say we learned more about the Bucks. I'd still it's weird considering I was the one before the season started that was like they did not do enough to improve. Like I don't even know if they're winning the NFC North, which is they're going to obviously. But like this Bucks defense is legit, dude. Like they are like top 5 in the league. They're good.
There's a reason I sat Rodgers in fantasy. Like I was looking at what passing numbers teams have put up on the Bucks this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think only one quarterback is throwing for over 250 yards.
And it was probably Herbert.
It was Herbert. Yeah.
Because Drew Brees, the other loss they have, he certainly did not throw for over 200. Also true. Like Tom Brady confirmed hates Nick Foles because like a lot of people were like, maybe he didn't shake his hand because of COVID things, and then he shook Aaron Rodgers' his hand.
Well, I love so much on Twitter. It's like, Brady obviously didn't shake Nick Foles' hand after the loss last week. It was like, it's COVID protocol. He's not supposed to shake his hand. No, you're like NFL players are following COVID protocol.
Yeah. Well, you were like,
it fucking matters. They're playing a football game. Like, I just love it. We talked about this last week. Like, of all the guys that Tom Brady can't beat Peyton a lot more often than not, beats Breeze, beats Rodgers, like, can't beat Nick Foles. Can't beat Eli Manning. Can't beat Ryan Fitzpatrick in Week 17 at home.
Let's rip through the rest of the games because there were some really good games and there were just kind of stinkers.
Speaking of not good games.
Speaking of stinkers, Patriots Broncos, ugly.
I wasn't watching the game live. I mean, what do you think was the biggest issue?
Ugly. They just look like. It always seems like a cop-out to say an offense looks out of sync. And I'm not blaming us on the fact that they didn't practice this week because they're not the only.
I mean, that definitely
it doesn't help.
It definitely doesn't help.
Yeah, no, it sure doesn't. And like Belichick after, and Belichick is not someone that makes excuses, right? He is not someone that'll if they played like shit because they practiced like shit, they'll say it. That's what Matt LaFleur said. He said, I don't know what we expected. We practiced like shit all week, and then we came out and we got fucked up by the Bucs, right? But Belichick was like, hopefully we can practice this week because you can tell that we did not practice. It was ugly. They were out of sync. They kept turning the ball over. The last play of the game on the 4th down where N'Keal Harry and Cam weren't on the same page. Like that's just Cam.
What? Okay.
Perfectly designed blitz. Like
I see so much just kind of like mixed messages, I guess, about N'Keal Harry. I feel like every Monday I'm looking at Twitter, I'm seeing from you and various other Pats fans liking different things about N'Keal Harry. Half the tweets are N'Keal Harry is like the future for this team at wide receiver. The other half are like, why did we send a 1st round pick
Nah, I don't.
What's his deal?
I don't know if you could say future of the Patriots receiving core, but you can
No,
say
but like I'm not like honestly
not
like
as
Randy Moss,
bad.
but like
Yeah.
number one wide receiver, like guy you're keeping in New England for his career. But then I'm also
Well,
seeing it seems like he disappears in a lot of games, and he doesn't.
well,
It seems like he hasn't put it together yet.
well, I'll at least talk about like that last play, which is where he came up, was the fact that it was just, it wasn't his fault necessarily. It was literally just like Cam was pressured. They brought a double safety blitz. He had to get the ball out quickly, and N'Keal Harry just wasn't in the spot yet. Like he's underwhelmed with.
Maybe it's it's just like it's the type of situation where it's like we're so used to watching the New England offense work like just clockwork, where it's like, you send an overload blitz, you send one more guy, then the offense has blockers, and Brady just bang 7 yards to Gronk, turns out like a 23-yard catch and run, that type of thing.
Yeah. And it literally was just they were out of sync. Like I don't know. Again, this is an offense. This doesn't worry me so much offensively, just because, and like in a bad way, just because it's kind of like, all right, like kind of knew this could happen. Like, like I don't know. Like
it just seems like he's not. It seems like he's. I think just based on like the fact that we see so much kind of like hot and cold on him, he's just not quite there yet.
No, you're right. And like it's worrisome that I don't find it worrisome. Because again, this is what I said a couple weeks ago when they lost to the Seahawks. It's like the offense doesn't seem sustainable. Like that's the problem that I see, is that when the offense is clicking, it can look good.
It seems like kind of the issue the Pats have had the last 2 or 3 years. Like if they get knocked off course, like how do they adjust? How do they react? Well,
but
again, it's like it's the same issue now. It's like what weapons do the Patriots have?
But
if the Pats offense, if you've got like a number one wide receiver, like let's say you're the Cardinals offense, right? Offense sputtering. What's the fix? Feed D-Hop. Like you can always go back to feed DeAndre Hopkins. The same way the Pats used to be able to go back to, all right, shit, like we're getting locked up. Let's get Gronk some targets. Get Gronk involved. The Pats don't have anyone resembling that.
Well, I mean, and again, like you said, that's been the case for 3-4 seasons at this point. But they've always been able to get through it. I think as the season continues, if Cam and Gilmore can stay on the field, they had COVID, so I assume they can't get it again. But who fucking knows? Like
talk about something we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, 2 picks by Cam. He fumbled the ball,
Izzo. He dove on a fumble.
Yeah, Izzo fumbled the ball. I'd say more concerning was the run defense. Like Philip Lindsay ran for over 100 yards. They just looked like a team that hadn't practiced all week. I'm not all that concerned. Drew Lock looked pretty good until he just threw 2 really bad interceptions.
Talk about someone that I did not understand the hype on at all.
Drew Lock.
People were talking about the Broncos offense coming to the season like Drew Lock was the savior. Dude played 6 games and looked like solid.
Yeah,
not exactly franchise savior. Like last point on this game, we'll keep moving on. I'll give you the keys to the Ben Carlton panic meter here. Where are you at with the Patriots?
4.
Really?
5.
This is the latest into a season they've been below 500 since 2002.
Right, and they're 2-3. Like, let's relax.
We're talking about since 2002.
Let's relax. Like, I'm not. We both said we didn't think the Patriots were going to win the division. Like, we thought the Bills were going to win the division. I'm not worried about the Dolphins contending. Like, although we did see Tua.
Told you.
What do you mean told?
Was I talking to you? Or maybe I was talking to someone else. Someone was saying like we wouldn't see Tua for a while.
Okay.
No, that was you. That was absolutely you who said we wouldn't see Tua for a while.
You are taking that so out of context. I said we wouldn't see Tua start a game in a while or actually come in because Fitzpatrick wasn't good. They came in because they were up 24 with like 5 minutes to go. Like, that is so different.
You still said we weren't going to see Tua.
That is so different. You are.
Clickbait. Hey, whoa. Relax. Calling me a fraud.
Fired up. Chicago beat the Panthers. Anything you want to say about that?
Definitely would not have pegged Chicago to be a playoff team this year, but
they're 4-2.
Crazy what happens when you upgrade from
5-1 season. Yeah, right. And like, it's say what you want. Like, the Panthers defense had been playing well the last couple of weeks, which was surprising. And like, when you the tough part about going from Trubisky to Foles is that you have to be. Hear me out. I thought it was the right decision too, and at the right time. But if you have a young quarterback like Trubisky or a younger quarterback like Trubisky, and then you have a veteran like Foles,
not so young anymore.
Yeah,
well, still young, but like he's been in the league.
If you go from Trubisky to Foles and it doesn't work out, can you go back to Trubisky? Or have you kind of just said, like, this is it, we don't trust you?
That's not the case. Like, Mitch Trubisky has got to realize that he was not getting the job done. Mm-hmm. Like, as a part of being an NFL quarterback, I would know from my experience as an NFL quarterback, is you have to be honest with yourself. You have to look at tape and be like, well, shit, like, I'm missing throws. I'm not helping my team win games. Mitch Trubisky was not helping the Bears win a whole lot of games the last couple seasons. Like, you've been playing football your whole life. You've got to know that it's like you have to produce.
Yeah, no, fair.
I thought
it was the right choice.
If Mitch Trubisky is so upset about getting benched and feels like he like absolutely didn't deserve to be benched, the Bears have a lot of issues on their hands. Like, I don't know how, if you're Mitch Trubisky, you've got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and look at your performance and be like, this wasn't enough. I guess the whole idea about bringing Foles in was twofold. You light a fire under
two Foles.
I wasn't going to do that, but
yeah, but I did.
It's either you light a fire under Trubisky's ass and he picks it up, or Mitch Trubisky continues to be Mitch Trubisky and you upgrade to Nick Foles, and the latter is where we are now.
Yeah, and it didn't look like an upgrade for a couple of weeks, even when they beat the Bucs. Like, and they put up 20 on them, which is impressive because we know what good of a defense they are. But like, it's not like he set the world on fire. Like, he didn't even look great when he came in relief that first game, even though he came back and like 3 or 4 throws that should have been picked off. But they won.
Compared to what, 7 or 8 probably from Trubisky?
Yeah, they're 5-1.
It's an upgrade however you cut it, and like you can't turn down an upgrade for the sake of playing. And it's like we still talk about Trubisky as like a young quarterback. Like, this is his 4th season in the league.
Yeah, he's not a young quarterback. He's younger.
Yeah, like you've got to make these improvements. All right, I'm done talking about Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
Young quarterback I'd love to talk about, Joe Burrow. Dude looks, again, I was watching the Giants game for the 1 o'clock, so I was just catching the replays and the highlights of these games. But like, something that has impressed me with Joe Burrow so much in his rookie season is just how comfortable he's looked. Like, the first 2 weeks, it was week 2 against Philly where he just got annihilated.
And against the Ravens.
But like, at least in the Ravens game, he still looked like he looked a lot more poised. Like, it really looks like he learned from that Philly game. Like, he learned to not let himself get decapitated when he's trying to scramble, which is a skill you need to learn in the NFL if you're a quarterback. Yes. Like, it's like, yeah,
RG3. RG3.
Oh, I thought you were like trying to chirp me. I was like, what?
How's that?
Yeah.
No.
Well, look, I didn't hear what you said initially, and that was the classic like you kind of talk shit. But
okay,
he's looked like comfortable given the fact that he has no help around him. Like, he hasn't looked bad. And it's like, if I can see that, like, just from the eye test, like, I've got to imagine the coaching staff in Cincy is like pretty happy with how he's played so far.
Absolutely. I mean, think about the problem with having a bad offensive line is that you can't get a run game going either, because Joe Mixon's not going to give you anything in the receiving game, and you have good receivers around you. The connection has been there with T. Higgins the last couple of weeks. AJ Green finally had a good game. Tyler Boyd has been really solid for them. I mean, besides the one interception he had that sealed the game, not a good interception, but he got to march down the field. 25 of 39, 300.
Well, yeah, that's what you got to be. Who were we talking about this with last week that threw a late pick? We're talking about someone that, like, it was Herbert. It was like, you're down late, you have to make risky throws. You have to push the ball. Like, you throw a pick, It happens. Obviously not ideal, but especially with young quarterbacks, like, you'd almost would rather see them like trying to be aggressive than, like, I feel like as a coach, and again, in my years of experience as an NFL head coach, I'd rather my rookie quarterback throw into a tight window and get picked off to end a game than go like 4 and out and not be aggressive.
All right, fair. You're still
like, if you're gonna lose a game, I'd rather my rookie quarterback lose a game due to being like aggressive and trying to like make tight throws than checking it down first, second, third down, then just like bombing it out 4th down and going home.
Fair.
Obviously not ideal either way, but
yeah. Phillip Rivers had himself a hell of a game and responded to a lot of chirping. That was not chirping or doubts that was coming from me. 29 of 44.
Did Phillip Rivers respond to your chirps?
Yeah. I love the graphic they showed where they compared him and Joe Burrow, and the last line was just children. Phillip Rivers 9, Joe Burrow 0. Hilarious. Phillip Rivers threw for over 370, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. The most interesting thing for me in this game, the Colts, besides the fact that I had them in Survivor and I was sweating.
Yeah, really.
The Colts were supposed to be a good team. This is a Bengals team that is not a terrible 1-4-1 team, but they're not a good team. They're a team that could scare you. But they
did.
Yes. They were up 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. They scored 2 field goals after that, and that was it. It has happened in every single game. I saw this in a Ringer piece. There has been a 3-score comeback in every single game this week, which is bonkers.
Really?
Falcons and Vikings basically every week.
Wait, there was. You mean every game this season? Like every week this season? There's been
every week. Yes.
Okay, I thought you said every game this week there was a 3-score comeback. I was like,
what? The Giants and Redskins didn't even.
Yeah,
the Giants and Washington football team.
The football team. I did it so many times on Sunday. Oh my god.
Shit.
I was like,
next
wait.
game. Next game. Gross. Atlanta blew out Minnesota. Their first win against them on the road since 2008, I think it was. 3 first-half interceptions for Kirk Cousins. Yikes.
Look, I saw it. I forget who it was. Like, I think it was like some Ringer author tweeted it out. Some Ringer writer just basically saying like, well, Kirk Cousins is back to having to be like the guy on offense, and that's not who he is.
No.
And the frustrating thing for the Vikings is you paid him like the guy. You paid him to be that guy who like pulls your offense up.
Got $35 million guaranteed or dead cap hit.
His contract's fully guaranteed, isn't it? Isn't that the whole issue with his contract? Is it
it's like $23 million. And that's the hard part is that you can't really bench him because like you'd rather that be fucking up your game than it be on the bench, honestly.
Literally, yeah. And what better options do you have?
You don't. Congrats, I guess, to Atlanta for getting their first win. Barn burner of a game. Washington and the Giants. Congrats. First win of the season.
Look, man,
you take the lead on this one. I don't care.
Just such an unpleasant game to watch. The Giants won. I was moderately excited when the Giants won. Of course, they won on like some just awful decision making by Kyle Allen. Like, I don't know what even happened there on the fumble 6. Like, it literally looked like he was trying to like toss the ball like as he was getting tackled. But as
Derek Carr did the same thing. He was going down. He's like, "Yeah, here you go." Like,
still a terrible call, like a terrible decision.
Yes,
like it looks super cool when it works out, but like it's something
that's Mr. Irrelevant too. Was it T. Crowder?
Was he Mr. Oh, he was Mr. Irrelevant. Yeah, you're right. Looked so uncomfortable running the ball.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh God, I don't want to do this."
And look, at this point, like, I want Trevor Lawrence. Honestly, I'm happy that Joe Judge got his first win. I'm glad Joe Judge isn't going to go winless in his first season as an NFL head coach.
Yeah.
And like, I don't have a lot of blame yet for Joe Judge. The Giants are bad. Like, just simply put, the Giants roster is bad. Could Joe Judge be doing better? Yeah, probably. Talk to me in like week 10, week 11. Like, you just need a little bit more time. The Giants defense, lowest of keys, top half of the league in most statistical categories.
Hey, you got to start somewhere. Also, I just clipped that in my brain. I'll talk to you in week 10 about this.
I will be saying the same thing. Like,
you'll probably be more mad.
What I'm going to be mad about is if all of a sudden the Giants are like 3-4 wins. It's like the worst thing we can do is go like 6-10, draft another goddamn defensive tackle with like the 8th overall pick. And like, look, at least it's nice to see Gettleman's like picks on the defensive line paying off. It's something. Yeah, sure. It's like, we're creeping up. Like,
creeping is the key
creeping. Word. I'm just not sold on Danny Dimes being it.
He has 4 career wins. 4 career wins. 3 of them have been against the Washington football team, formerly known as the Redskins.
Yes.
Yikes! I
got nothing to say there.
Baltimore at Philly. Baltimore at a commanding lead late. Philly's offenses look good the last couple of weeks.
Travis Fulgham, the next Michael Thomas.
He's on my fantasy team. He better be.
Did he have? I honestly don't even know what he did.
He had a touchdown. He had like 100 yards, something like that.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah,
on your bench.
He burned it. Yeah, burned a very good secondary. Like,
yeah, that's like scary if you're Baltimore. You really almost got caught slacking there.
Yeah, battle of
like,
birds.
There's no way that game should have been that close.
No, and I mean, hey, we talked about this on our last show. You're crazy if you're taking the Phillies money line, which Elliott told everyone to do.
Philly,
but it was Baltimore minus 10, and it was not a bad idea to take Philly plus 10.
Philly plus 10. Well, that's what we've talked about a few times. Like, you see a double-digit spread, you're like, wait.
And I pulled off. I'm happy I pulled off on Colts Bengals at the last second. The minus 8.
What was the spread there?
It was minus 8. They won by 3 or 4, whatever. Game of the week that we haven't talked about yet, Houston and Tennessee.
Hey, we told you that was our lock of the week to bet.
Yeah, never a doubt.
Never a doubt. Well, first of all, huge loss for the Titans with Taylor Lewan tearing his ACL. Bad.
For the season.
That's really bad.
That is.
I mean, I don't think it's like end of the world. Like, it's still Derrick Henry, still an animal. Like, you need your left tackle.
Really?
Yeah.
You need your blindside tackle? That's crazy. Wow. Fuck.
Mike Vrabel, the 12-man penalty on purpose.
There's like 4.5 minutes left. He knows he's got to conserve some clock. So he takes the 12-man penalty to get them the first down because it was like 2nd and 1 anyway.
Yep.
Chess, not checkers, man.
I mean, the Vrabel never coached in New England, right?
He was a linebacker coach.
Oh, he was? Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what if Belichick's coaches don't work out, but his players are better coaches? But I guess Vrabel was a linebackers coach.
Gerard Mayo is a coach for the Patriots now. I'm trying to think other Patriots players that were coaches.
Could you ever see Brady becoming like an OC somewhere?
No.
You don't think so?
No. And it's hard. Like, there's a reason that a lot of really good players couldn't be coaches. Like, could you have seen Kobe Bryant have been a coach? Okay. When Kobe was still playing, could you have seen Kobe being a coach? No shot.
Okay, but like, fair.
Yeah.
I could see it. I think because I don't think Brady is going to have an easy time like transitioning away from football.
Mm.
And I think that transition is probably going to come sooner than he would like, given how we're just watching him like.
Then again, he's made enough money. He could probably.
He doesn't strike me as the type of guy to like get in the booth.
Yeah, I can't see him as a booth option. I more see him as like a studio host or.
Not at all.
I could see him in the studio.
Brady, what?
I could see him in the stew.
Really?
You can't see him in the stew?
No. I can't see Brady doing like any type of on-camera work.
Really?
Yeah, like not in the slightest.
Oh,
and you've definitely seen him like interact with the media more than I have, but like he does not strike me as the type of like.
I mean, you're still becoming the media if you're a color guy, like.
What I'm saying I don't see him doing any like.
Oh, I thought you said you saw him in the booth, but like
no, I said not in the booth.
Oh, okay.
Not any type of like media.
That's right. I thought you said you saw him in the booth, and then you like bugging out about me saying you saw him. I saw him in the stew.
No.
What? Like,
is this what we're talking about today? Yeah. No, what we're talking about today. You need like you're on the stand here, Matias. You told the American public to bet on the New York Jets.
So we're not talking about Derrick Henry or anything?
Sure, we'll talk about. You're just trying to dodge the case.
No, there's nothing I could dodge. It was Dolphins minus 9.5, and I don't know.
And I wonder if someone told you to take Dolphins minus 9.5.
Yeah, you did. I still have a better record than you.
I'm just talking about like the blasphemy that is recommending people to bet on the New York Jets.
I still don't think it's betting on the Jets.
What else is it?
Not betting on the Dolphins.
Therefore.
No, it doesn't work like that. Anyway,
we've been involved in some legal cases before. We won't get into those.
Yeah, and I won the one last year.
You did not win that case.
Yeah.
You did not win that case.
Derrick Henry had more yards.
Whose girlfriend is it? Whose girlfriend is it?
My girlfriend. Not her fish, though.
her, like, she's got whatever.
not
We're
a
not
fish.
rehashing
Not
it.
a
There's
fish.
no double jeopardy.
Not a fish.
I won the case already.
No, you did it. You did not win the case. Did
I
not.
absolutely won the case.
No, sustained.
Get the fuck out of here.
Derrick Henry had more yards on offense than the Jets did. I asked, is he the best pure rusher in the NFL? I think so.
This is the Ernest Johnson.
Okay, so now in all seriousness, is he the best
It's
rusher?
Derrick Henry. Yeah, I mean, I think you can make a case for Nick Chubb as possibly a better pure rusher than Derrick Henry. Right now, I think it's Derrick. If Nick Chubb is healthy and if Nick Chubb has had a couple of like monster weeks, like it looked like he was on track to have, we'd be having a much longer conversation. I mean,
it's hard too that he has to share the field with Kareem Hunt. Doesn't help.
But if we're talking about pure rushing ability, I mean,
Yeah.
who else is even in the conversation?
Josh Jacobs. In the conversation, but
In the
he's
conversation,
far
I
behind.
barely, yeah.
Ronald
It's gotta be
Jones.
Derrick Henry.
Ronald Jones the second.
Nope.
Rojo.
Not yet.
Why not?
It's got to be Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And like
no,
you
agree.
you tweeted that out, where you like that burst he puts on the 35 in that clip. Like,
It's insane.
dude's
The guy's
230 pounds.
6'3", 240,
Jesus.
and he runs a sub 4.5. What the fuck?
And then like it can burst, can literally get through the line, get 20 yards down the field. It's like, all right, top gear, gone.
The 94-yard touchdown, that run I'm talking about, or we're talking about, 89 of those yards were not expected because he had to burst through that small of a hole. That was like the AWS stats.
Yeah.
It's absurd. Like, this is a Titans team, obviously, that relies on Derrick Henry, but Tannehill played well. A.J. Brown coming back is huge, and their defense is good. Also, the Texans look worlds better with, I just had his name. Romeo Crennel.
Crennel? Yeah.
Yeah, Romeo.
Okay. Do the Texans look better, or did Deshaun Watson go like nuclear for a game and will them to a win? Because like we know Deshaun Watson is that type of guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a reason that it wasn't working with B.O.B., right? Like,
And I think it's still like a general issue of like a lack of top tier talent with the Texans. But like we know Deshaun Watson is one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
fair. Also, in our chat, a good friend Nolan getting really mad that we're talking shit about the Titans, saying they're relying on them. He can't spell my name right, so I literally
That's gotta be intentional. That's gotta
I
be
don't care.
intentional.
Opinions do not matter until you can spell my name right. Nolan, if that's even your name.
Heat.
That's
even his name.
Talked about Jets, Dolphins a little bit. Tua got in the game, threw a couple passes. Love to see him. He was like on the 30-yard line after.
Nolan's got to come with the heat. You better cover up. You better cover up. Bro.
Like that was awesome to see Tua just get in there. Like almost.
Are you seeing these numbers right now?
I don't care about Titans numbers.
I'll read them out to you. Ryan Tannehill on non-play action.
Okay.
I don't know if this is this season or just in the game. 22 of 25 for 3 tutties.
I don't care.
On non-play action. Drop back passing.
I don't care.
Don't care. Keep them coming, Nolan. Keep them coming.
49ers Rams last night. Ugh. Ugly. Ugly.
Not a fun game. Like I was more watching the NLCS, but like that NLCS on the big TV, laptop next to me with the Niners Rams game on.
Kids watch every play. Yeah.
More watching, especially because the NLCS was such a sick game. Like, I really was not watching a whole lot of Sunday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the NFC West is almost looking like the way the NFC East looked when the years were like the Giants, Eagles, and Cowboys were all like good, mediocre to good. Where it's like they kind of all beat up on each other and like bring everybody's record down. I'm not saying these. I'm not comparing team wise. I'm saying in terms of like, it looks like other than the Seahawks, the Niners, the Rams are just going to beat each other down and ruin both their records.
There's a difference between like being mediocre or at the same level. We talk about this every year. Just because the NFC East is competitive because they're all at the same level does not mean that they are good. Like,
I'm not saying they're good, but I'm saying in terms of like teams kind of all being at like a similar level and then everyone just kind of like takes everybody else down a peg with them.
But
you think I don't think that's terribly far off.
Like,
every team in the NFC West is better than those teams. Like, whatever year, there was one year, I think it's like 2010. Everyone except Washington finished above 500.
Yeah, I mean,
this is kind of what I'm getting at. Where it's like all these teams are like good, but because they're all in the same division, like their records aren't gonna be as like spectacular as we might think.
Yeah. Seahawks on their bye week are 5-0. Rams dropped to 4-2. Cardinals 3-2. They'll probably win tonight. They'll move to 4-2. Knock on wood. 49ers.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
49ers 3-3. Even with all the injuries the Niners have, like, this is a team I want to avoid. I do not want to play them.
I mean, the issue is, like, as much as, like, Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't, like, the reason for their success last year, Jimmy G was playing a lot better last year than he is through 6 weeks this year.
Elite game manager.
But he's not doing that this year.
Well, he did yesterday.
For, like, the first time in how many weeks? I mean, he's been hurt, obviously, but it's like, I've been needing to see a lot more from Garoppolo for me to, like, regain that confidence that I had in the Niners early on. Obviously, confidence before Nick Bosa, Solomon Thomas, like, those guys got hurt. The Niners are in a bad spot if they need Jimmy G to, like, really carry them more than he did last year.
They're in a bad spot regardless because
they're in a bad spot regardless, but, like,
their next 5 games.
Team that's built to sustain, like, a passing attack.
Yeah. Really, really going to be interested to watch next week. 4:25 Niners at Patriots.
Jimmy G, be a really boring game.
Jimmy G back in New England.
All jokes aside, that could be a very boring game to watch.
Yeah, it could be. Their next 5 games are Patriots, Seahawks, Packers, Saints, Rams, and then the one after that is Bills. So, yikes.
Niners might be missing the playoffs.
Yeah. Our power rankings, we're going to save that for Thursday.
Well, yeah, we got 2 games tonight.
Our best bets, we kind of touched.
Not like the Cowboys-Cardinals game will impact our power rankings, but obviously whoever wins Chiefs-Bills is –
that's big.
Spoilers is getting a jump.
Our best bets, I had Jets plus 9.5. That obviously did not work out well. Rams minus 3.5 on San Francisco. I was about to back away from that because I was like, all right, San Fran knows they have a tough schedule. Like, this is a good rebound game for them, but I still felt confident in them. I would have picked the Rams money line anyway. I have Arizona minus 1.5 on Dallas tonight. I'm confident about that. Our lock of the week, Titans minus 3.5. Never in doubt.
Never in doubt.
And then Green Bay minus 1 on the Bucks. That seemed too good to be true. And we always talk about Vegas knows something you don't. And Vegas knew something we didn't. Vegas knew that Bakhtiari is very important for that offensive line.
Whatever. That's just those like -1 lines. Anything like -1, -1.5. It's just like that's the type of thing where I just always have to go with my gut. Like obviously I didn't take that back because like, I didn't fucking know what my gut wanted me to do there. But it's like I definitely wouldn't have picked a blowout in that game.
Yeah. Your bets, you had Miami minus 9.5.
Hey, I literally said in the video, if you want to make money, bet against the Giants and the Jets.
Yeah, fair.
Just do it. It'll work.
I picked
even when the Giants win, it'll work.
Yeah, I picked the Giants to win that game. I did think that they were going to cover, but I didn't pick them in here, so it doesn't really matter.
True.
You picked Washington plus 2.5. That worked, and then we had our lock of the week in Tennessee minus 3.5. So Ben had a nice 5.
Literally, it was just like my first week was bad. I went 500 last week and 3-1 this week.
Yeah, I am 8-4 because I decided to place like 5 bets this week. I don't know. Yeah, we usually do like 2 or 3, and I was like, yeah, I have 5 I like. Mailbag time.
Mailbag. We got questions.
Our first question is Ryan Tannehill. That's it.
Know.
Ryan Tannehill.
I mean, it's an interesting point.
Conversation.
It's like, look, Ryan Tannehill, like, yeah, he's an NFL quarterback.
But did you see that time that Ryan Tannehill, he played quarterback? Yeah, that's pretty crazy, right? Yeah.
Remember when Ryan Tannehill was a wide receiver at Texas A&M?
Yes. Is he an MVP quarterback in the MVP conversation?
No.
Okay.
Even if he deserves it, which I don't think he does, look, it's a media-driven award. It's a narrative. Like, narrative matters. If the Titans are really good, all the credit's going to Derrick Henry. Deservedly or not, like, it's going to go to Derrick Henry.
Is Derrick Henry running for more than 2,000 yards this year?
Very possible.
Yeah, it's 500. He's got 588.
So he's probably just shy.
Through 5 games.
Oh, right, just through 5 games. No, so he's not on pace. He's probably on pace for like
he's not.
1,900 probably.
Yeah.
Again, math is not our strong suit.
Yeah. Most impressive MLB prospect. Some MF named Randy.
Break all night, day, year. So fucking stupid.
So good. Favorite
you don't actually like that.
I love it. Rakes. Randy. Rosarena. Comeback player of the year favorite, still Alex Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no
literally
real
like all jokes aside, they should rename the award after him. Maybe not while he's still like active.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how it couldn't be Alex Smith just for making it onto an NFL field again.
Biggest competitor, probably Big Ben.
But like there's nothing special about Big Ben's comeback. Maybe Cam, but like it's not even necessarily a comeback. I feel like it's generally more reserved for like an injury. And like Cam's like a good story.
Yeah, both of them were injured last year. What are you talking about?
But like a notable injury. Like Cam was more like banged up, had like a number of issues, like a number of things going on.
They both missed like the last 8-9 weeks of last season.
All right, what was Cam's injury?
It was a shoulder injury.
Shoulder, foot. It was like multiple things.
Yeah, and then Big Ben messed up his elbow.
Look, we're talking as if it's not Alex Smith's in the bag. Like, if you want a lock of the year, Alex Smith for comeback player of the year. Like literally, they should rename the award after him. No one has ever like come back from a.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
Dude almost lost his goddamn leg and is now playing in the NFL again. That's absurd.
Shit was gross. Matias sucks at betting is the next question.
Yep.
Cool. The last one from our good friend Matt Clement. Are the Steelers the only team that can stop the Chiefs in the AFC?
Every bone in my body wants to say no because I want to say that the Ravens can beat the Chiefs. Have we seen it yet? No. But the Steelers, I don't trust. Like maybe I'm just still sleeping on Ben Roethlisberger. I don't trust the Steelers' offense to keep pace with. I don't trust anyone's offense basically to keep pace with the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of do you trust the Steelers' defense?
You trust their secondary.
Then you look at the Philly game where the Steelers' defense got burnt for 30. Which offense do you like more, Philly or Kansas City?
Oh, that's a tough one.
That's a tough question, man. Exactly. Like, I mean, all jokes aside, Nolan's talking in the comments right now. Like, I kind of would say the Titans are a better shot to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah. I think stylistically, probably I would trust the Steelers more, but I still think the Titans are a better team. He loves talking shit like the Chiefs didn't kick the Titans' ass in the playoffs after.
Smoked them.
Yeah.
Like, big time smoked them.
Big time smoke. So, pipe down there, Nolan.
Big stamp.
I saw this guy, speaking of stamp, I don't know what that means, but
it's
a camp thing.
His last name's Stimson.
Okay. I was walking through Port Jefferson with my girlfriend yesterday, and I saw this guy wearing a sweatshirt that says Simp. That's it. And I just said University of Simp.
Squirrels in my pants?
No, just Simp.
Simp was Squirrels in my pants before it was ever simping. Yeah. Just saying.
Squirrels in my pants. What was that, Phineas and Ferb?
Yep.
Yeah. Banger. Then that's it for our mailbag.
Yeah.
Cool. You want to talk about Beast Mode? Not Beast Mode.
Savage Mode 2?
Savage Mode 2.
I'm a big fan. The new 21 Savage album, if you guys haven't heard it. 21 Savage, Metro Boomin. I mean, you want to talk about solidifying your case as a top tier producer? Metro is booming.
Metro.
I hope he trusts me. I really hope he trusts me.
Yeah, because if not, he's going to make you
trust me.
I think what was better on this album, the actual songs, or Morgan Freeman just narrating the whole thing? Or did you see the hype video that came out before? It's the sickest thing I've ever seen. I will send it to you. If not, we'll share it on our page.
On the Twitter.
It was wild.
Where can I find this media?
I don't know. Probably just album promo.
I'll look it up after the show.
Yeah.
Savage for Offensive Player of the Year? Potentially.
Maybe. I don't know. We talked about getting roasted for being from England.
I was going to say the Snitches and Rats interlude into Snitches and Rats.
He had an Andre Drummond reference in there. Not bad. Just the back half of the album was really solid.
I think the whole thing, man, is like clean all the way through. Like I was not a big 21 Savage fan. Like when he first kind of got big, I've very much come around on 21.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I think there's one other song that like really. I want to open up Spotify. My computer will freak out. But I'm a big fan of the 21 Savage album. If you haven't heard it already.
Yeah, so go listen to it. This is a certified album review. from
Yeah.
Ben and Matias. There wasn't really any good music that came out this weekend.
I don't think anything like whatever. I'll open up Spotify. Let's see what we got going on. I feel like very possible we just end up cutting this out from the actual show, but we'll see how we'll see.
Who knows? I think it's pretty solid. Yeah, anything that interests you on there?
Yeah, the Pete and Elliot podcast.
Oh yeah.
Pete and Elliot podcast is money. Have you actually listened to it?
No, I never have.
It's pretty funny.
Is it funny?
It is. It's just like it's entertaining because it's Pete, and you're just like.
Is our teacher Pete Johann? So we're talking about
professor. Have a little respect for the man.
Imagine. Oh, I'm sorry. What am I talking about? Benny the Butcher's album was fire.
Oh, true. I haven't listened to that yet.
Yeah, if you're not on that Griselda wave, then I don't know what you're doing. They released a lot of music. A lot of it is not very good. I don't think West Side Gun is.
Oh, Rick Ross. Oh my God, I didn't even look at this.
You might want to listen to this album because
I'm literally gonna throw that on after the show.
Very good.
Is the Rick Ross feature good?
Rick Ross feature is good. The Freddie Gibbs feature is good. The Lil Wayne and Big Sean song, I'm not a big fan of either of them.
I hate Big Sean.
Yeah, I hate Big Sean. I don't hate Lil Wayne, but I've never been able to get into him the way that it probably it deserves to. But,
really?
Yeah, I know. It's one of my few faults.
You were about to say many faults, and that's the truth. But come on. My few faults.
I know. But very, very good album.
I'll give it a listen.
Worth a listen. Yeah.
All jokes aside, if you guys have albums you want us to listen to, send them our way. We might,
because we'll listen to them, and maybe we won't even talk about it, but we'll listen.
Probably won't even talk about it, but we might. I don't know. Literally, the last 10 minutes of the show, we're like,
we literally dedicate in the rundown. We're like, all right, 30 minutes baseball, 20 minutes NFL, 10 minutes mailbag and babble.
Banter.
Babble.
Banter.
Banter, babble, same thing. Ben, just about done with this episode. You got anything left?
No, that's all I got, brother.
Cool. I don't either. He's been Carlton. I'm Matias Weilmann, Second Floor Sports. We will be back on Thursday. Time to be announced. We'll be bringing you the action from the first couple games of the World Series. We'll have NFL Week 7 preview. Really exciting Monday Night Football matchup tonight. Couple of games there. Make sure you're following us on Twitter at Ben_Carlton1, at Matias_Weilmann, at 2 Floor Sports, at Second Floor Sports.
At 2 Floor Sports _?
No, I don't think so. No underscore.
I haven't tried to get the Second Floor Sports handle recently. Maybe that's what I'll do today.
Yeah, maybe we'll just invade their inbox. And
I pay him a whole $2 for it.
I don't have to.
You want to match 2 each?
Yeah. I'll match.
Cool. I'll go to 5 if we have to. I'll cover the extra $1. But
God, you are so good.
Just so
you can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and of course our favorite,
Breaker.
Anytime. If you got anything, slide into our DMs. Let us know in our mailbags. If not, we will talk to you later this week.
Peace.